This Month in Startups is coming up right after the break. Gav and I, tune in. Mate, welcome back.
G'day, welcome back to you.
When our vlog dropped last month, the world imploded, specifically in Silicon Valley.
They say it was the craziest 5 days Silicon Valley's had since Steve Jobs was fired from Apple.
We're talking about Sam Altman, who
Being
both
fired.
of us had the privilege. I don't know if it was a privilege.
We were sitting next to each other.
Yeah.
The Startup Victoria, the Startup Network, brought him to Melbourne a couple of months ago when he was doing his global tour.
Bit dry, but Sam was ousted and then put back in, and then ousted and then put back in, I think 5 times over 5 days.
There were 4 CEOs in 3 or 4 days. He was fired. He was appointed by Satya Nadella as the CEO of their AI division of Microsoft. The staff, 700 staff were going to leave. The board got spilled. Sam's back. There's a new board, and all is for the time being a little safe for now.
So we're talking about OpenAI, Sam Altman, ChatGPT, massive, and it happened over Thanksgiving weekend.
And it happened very shortly before ChatGPT's 1-year anniversary, which dropped on the 30th of November. And they really started the generative AI revolution that's really dominated headlines in 2023.
You know who else dominates headlines, at least in my world, is Canva.
Canva is still the global darling. In fact, in Las Vegas, there was a Goldman Sachs parade show, I guess, and Canva was up on stage. One of the founders of Canva was up on stage, their annual private investor conference, obviously doing a little bit of a dog and pony show before a rumored IPO sometime in the near future. In fact, SaaStr, SaaStr, the big conference, the big investor community, they have pinned Canva as one of 2 prospects for a blockbuster IPO in 2024. They'll be approaching $2 billion in annualized revenue, growing at 50%, cash flow positive. It's a really strong story from an Australian darling.
Love Canva. Shout out to my friends at Canva. I'm working with Canva out of Southern California. I know we talked about Las Vegas, but let's go up to Seattle.
So the news in Seattle is Binance. Binance and its CEO have pleaded guilty to criminal charges for money laundering and US sanction violations. $6 billion, that's Aussie dollars, because I know you get confused between your US dollars and your Aussie dollars.
Yep.
That's Aussie dollars. It's the US Treasury have announced it's their largest enforcement action in history.
Do you know what we should do? We should just get a Cybertruck from Texas and just run over him.
Did you see that Elon Musk launched the Cybertruck?
Did I see Elon Musk launch the Cybertruck? Commented. Seriously.
Why did they even ask that?
Did you see the Porsche that they drag raced?
I did. I did.
Yeah.
I did. So the news is from Austin, from the Gigafactory, is that Elon Musk has launched and delivered the first Cybertrucks. He first mentioned that in 2019. So 4 years later, you're going to start seeing them come to the roads. Whether they'll get right-hand drive and come to Australia is
not
still
happening. No.
It's not happening?
No.
Oh, you've just said it as it is.
Unfortunately, I have some insider information from a friend that works at or nearby.
Insider information.
I don't think they're making them in right-hand drive.
Well, they're not making the Model X or the Model S in right-hand drive either anymore.
Yeah.
So if you want a Tesla, it's a Model 3 or a Model Y here in
The new
Australia.
3 looks pretty nice.
Very slick.
Yeah.
It's very slick. So flicking over to London, we're kind of going around the world today.
Around the world,
but
baby.
In London, the news that you never thought would hit the streets, but Uber are partnering up with the black taxis so that if you want to hail an Uber or a black taxi, you can do it all through the Uber app. And given where Uber started and the fighting that they had with, with all the taxis and all that kind of stuff, we've come full circle and focusing on the customer, I guess, in this instance to try and give them the best outcome. Either that or the black cabs have just realised they had to do it for survival.
Concede. We've been around the world.
So let's come back home.
Bring it home.
Well, you mentioned something about, I'm a Westpac customer. You mentioned something about Westpac.
We were with Westpac. I'm not a fan, but they had
your brother-in-law was a little annoyed on Twitter about Westpac as well. Yes, he said some people are travelling, and if you can't access your money or your online banking, it's a bit of a problem.
Yeah, I had an outage this morning.
But separate to the outage, they're dipping their toe back in venture capital. They've led a $28 million Series B into Data.Co, which is an AI loan assessor for small businesses. So, there's a lot of innovation happening in the loan space.
Yeah.
How to give business, consumer loans, small business loans, etc. And they're dipping their toe in.
I actually think that they should buy a tractor.
No. Tractor themselves are innovating.
Correct.
So they can now write loans in less than 24 hours. So they're using both tech and human to be able to assess and approve loans far quicker. And at the same time, HSBC are putting a $200 million venture debt fund together to be able to deploy into Australian startups, Australian venture businesses to compete against like Partners for Growth, One Ventures, Lighter Capital, those types of companies.
All this money sounds great, but it feels like it's not enough. It hasn't been enough this year. Right?
I love Toby.
Right.
I love Toby.
I think we've slid from 10 billion?
Well, the breaking, I don't know the exact.
10 billion down to 3 billion.
Down to 3 billion in 2023.
Correct,
So the breaking news is an hour ago, an exclusive article on the Australian Financial Review with Cut Through Ventures' latest data. And their data suggests it is a tech winter out there. And we know that. You kind of feel it in the market, both founders and investors, they're all dancing around. Some are having meetings. But the announcements, like if you think back to when we started this vlog, we were smashing it out. This raise and this raise and this raise and this raise.
It's wild.
It's a lot. We have to go around the world to get the news these days. Cut Through Ventures have said, what have they said? They've said $4.2 billion less this year compared to last year in terms of capital deployed. If you compare it to 2021, which was the mad year, the crazy year, there was over $10.6 billion deployed in 2021. Oh, that's what you said?
I said 10 billion
And
was
it dropped to
deployed.
3.
It dropped to 3.
You've already said that. All right, well, he's covered that.
You know what?
Toby's way ahead of me.
Too fast. On that point, we actually have a pop-up barber. I know you don't need a buzz, but we have a pop-up
I'm a
barber.
DIY these days.
Yeah, we
I
have
got
a pop-
fired by my barber.
We have a pop-up barber, so I'm going to get my haircut. See you guys.